Hi, this is Meghan Cummings, the Executive Director of the Women's Fund, and I'd like to share one of our most recent reports with you. First, a little background. Cincinnati ranks second in the nation for children in poverty. Our research uncovered that 2 out of 3 of the children living in poverty live in a single female-headed household. If we want to improve the poverty picture for children, we absolutely must consider how to help their moms. When you look at all the poverty in Cincinnati, first we can look at the family household types in greater Cincinnati. About 75% of them are married couples. When we look at the family type in poverty in greater Cincinnati, the ratio completely changes. You can see a majority are female-headed households. In 2014, we did a report called the Pulse 2020 Jobs and Gender Outlook. We took some research that was done by our chambers and some other supporting groups that looked at job growth in our community. We wanted to apply a gender lens to this work. This chart may look a little bit complicated, but let me explain it to you. It's really easy. Along the bottom axis, you'll see the job growth rate from 0 to 60%. This is the expected job growth rate for different sectors between now and 2020. Along the y-axis, you can see the median wage for these different careers. The rest is pretty self-explanatory. The bigger the bubble, the more jobs in those careers. And if they're shaded more pink, that means the higher representation of women in those careers. And the ones that are shaded more blue is the higher representation of men in those sectors. One notable example in this is the healthcare and support bubble, which is on the far right. This is home health care aides predominantly. You can see a large growth rate for these jobs. It's mostly dominated by women, more than 90%, and the average wage for these jobs is about $21,000 a year. This is what community data looks like when we apply a gender lens. But let's dig a little deeper into these numbers. Right here, we put the self-sufficiency level for a single person. It's about $18,000 a year. Although a little higher than the federal poverty rate, this is a very non-frills budget for a single person living in Hamilton County. The next one is the self-sufficiency for a single parent with 1 child. As you can see, a lot of the bubbles fall under this very meager living wage. As you can see, a lot of the jobs still fall under this very low wage for a single parent with 1 child. In fact, 57% of all female-held jobs in the region pay an insufficient wage for a single parent with just 1 child. Here's the self-sufficiency rate for a single parent with 2 children in Hamilton County, and you can see 69% of all female-held jobs in the region pay an insufficient wage for a single parent with 2 children. With 3 children, 90% of the jobs don't pay enough. And you can see a lot of women are clustered into mostly low-wage jobs. But let's take an even deeper look at this data. If we look at one of the bubbles in specific, let's take sales and related. The bubble right here. It's a white bubble, meaning it's about 50% men and 50% women. All good, you say, right? Let's pull it apart to see what the men and women are making in this field respectively. When we pull it apart, we can see the blue bubble goes up. The 2012 male median wage for sales and related is $42,000 a year, while the average wage for the females in this same job category is $18,522. Some of this can be attributed to part-time versus full-time work, but oftentimes we wonder, are women working part-time because they want to, or is it because childcare and elder care issues that affect them disproportionately are allowing them to work less? Additionally, females tend to work in retail jobs, while men work in more sales-related jobs that involve technology and manufacturing. Let's look at another bubble together. This is healthcare practitioners and technical occupations. It looks like a fairly good wage bubble to be in, about $50,000 average per year, and it's mostly pink. This should be good news, mostly dominated by women. But when we pull apart the wage data in this occupational group, this is what we see. Wow. It goes right off the page. The 2012 male median wage in this job category is $75,000 a year, while again we see the pink bubble drop with a median wage for females in this area at $46,390. It's really important that we apply this gender lens to all of our community work because it tells a totally different story. Averages are great, but when one group is consistently above the average and one group is consistently below the average, we know we have more work to do. The overall findings from this study is that in 2020, 4 of every 7 women in Greater Cincinnati are predicted to work in occupations with a median wage that is inadequate to support a woman with just 1 child without public assistance. The Women's Fund continues to lead our region in these issues regarding women's self-sufficiency. We lead, we research, releasing important reports like this throughout the year, and we invest in projects that have promising solutions for women in poverty. Thanks.